Hello and welcome to another episode of the Real Junglers podcast. Today I am joined by ACMC. Good morning.
Morning. How you doing? You good?
Doing really well. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad.
It's an absolute pleasure to have you here. I always like to kick off just by letting my guests introduce themselves and just tell people a little bit about what it is that you have been doing and you're doing at the moment.
Sure. Well, I'm AC. I'm an MC, and I also do rap as well. I think the first time I started MCing was probably like 1999 or something like that, in maybe 98, and then just been doing drum and bass and hip hop, bit of grime. Since then, really had some stuff played, on in the charts on Radio 1, like BBC, various stations, videos on Channel U, MTV Base, and then in the rave scene, just been, mainly operating in the jump up scene because that's more MC friendly. But then also doing other stuff as well, like jungle stuff and liquid stuff as well. So yeah.
Yeah. Wow. So I'm going to come on to that. I was going to make a note about Jump Up being more MC friendly, but we're going to come back to that. We're going to circle back to that because where I would love to start is today, because it sounds like you've got, you talked about rap there as well and having your, your songs featured on various stations. What kind of music did you listen to when you were growing up? So I'm trying to find out what your influences were growing up.
Well, my dad, he was pretty much solely classical music, and so from his side, it was all just classical music like Beethoven, Mozart, Tchaikovsky, Rachmaninoff, all of them kind of people, and then Bach and all that stuff. And then listening to like music myself, me and my sister, would just be the normal stuff like was on Top of the Pops when we were kids. And then she was older than me. She was about 6. She's like 6 years older than me. So then she was raving at the first, like the whole Summer of Love and all that stuff. That's when she started raving and everything, and all of that era, the whole 90s, early 90s and stuff. So then she had all of the tapes from the tape packs and the raves, this, that, and all the rest of it. And then, just hearing that, and then got into hearing like rap music from the first. I think the first rap tune I heard was probably like Hijack, that British group called Hijack. And then I just loved it from there. And that was, I think that the tune I heard from them was one that come out in the mid 80s or something like that. And then just got into like all these different types of music through there. And because I was singing in church choirs and that since like the age of about 6 or something, and then I did it singing professionally as well in a choir. We toured like Europe and had CDs out and all that kind of stuff until I was about 13. Then my voice broke, and then just got into other stuff and that. So yeah, it's been always all those different types of music coming at me in it. So
yeah, such a variety of different influences, it sounds like there. Yeah. And really lovely to hear that you were in a choir at some point as well. Like, do you feel all those different influences, and even your time singing in a choir, do you think that has shaped who you are as an artist today?
Definitely, because like from being in the choir, you learn about breath control, all that kind of stuff, and then that naturally helped me when I started to MC and stuff like that. I could just hold my breath and knew when to breathe and when not to breathe and all that kind of stuff. You want to breathe in a way that helps the phrasing of what you're trying to say as well. Like you got to deliver it in a poetic manner, and you learn all of that stuff from when you're a kid getting it drilled into you. Like it wasn't nice and you're getting shouted at and berated all the time, but it did drill it into you in it. So then that's definitely helped. And just being used to doing like long sets, like an hour long or whatever it is, from learning all of those things from a young age, that's helped there definitely.
Yeah, wow.
So,
So so many things that I wouldn't even have thought of, but even you just mentioning breath control, like of course that's important.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
having that sort of you said drilled into it was, I guess it sounds like it was a bit harsh at times, but it sounds
yeah.
like it. Do you feel like now it is almost like second nature because you've been doing it for that long?
Yeah, yeah, and even also the traveling in it, like you just get used to being on the road. Like, I was just on the road all the time, and then I was in church like every day, pretty much, doing a service. Sunday we do two services. Um, so yeah, it was just a mad one, innit? And so like doing all of that, and then also traveling all over the place, it gets you used to then having to travel a lot doing it later, isn't it? Because now it's like one of the main parts of being a performer in the drum and bass scene is you're just up and down the motorways all the time, innit? So yeah, it gets you
Yeah,
used to quite a lot of different things, and also you develop a thick skin because you're getting. It's like a drill sergeant just screaming at you all the time. You develop a thick skin, so then when people like try and criticize you or whatever, you can kind of like take the good parts of it and the rest you just whatever brush off your shoulder in it. It's like, yeah, okay, cool. But it helps you in that way, so you're not maybe not as sensitive to criticism because you've had it so much in it from before.
yeah, and I think that's something that comes up a lot in these conversations, like criticism. Like you are going to get it, and like you said, some of it you're going to take on board, and maybe and all the rest of it. But it is about having that thick skin, that resilience, to not let that stop you.
Yeah, for real, for real, for real. You can't let it stop you, man. You got to learn from it and then use what you can take as valid, and then carry on. Like at the college I teach at, we say there's like destructive criticism and then there's constructive criticism. So you want to learn to separate the two in it. Like
Yeah.
when we give feedback, we always do the feedback sandwich thing. So you say something good they did, then something they can improve, and then something good they did to end it. But
Yeah.
people in the scene, they won't do that. They'll just be harsh. So you just gotta roll with the punches in it.
Yeah. What is it you're teaching at college?
So I'm teaching on the rap and MC degree um, at ACM, and that's like the first that stands for academic. No, what does it stand for? The Academy of Contemporary Music. Yeah, and
Wow.
so that's like the first rap and MC degree in the country in it. So I started there in lockdown 2020, um, September, and I've just been doing that part time Mondays to Wednesdays since.
That's
So
amazing. It's so. I mean, I didn't even know that there was any such that you said it's the first
yeah, it's the
rapping
first one,
MC.
man. Yeah,
Wow,
yeah.
and
So
that's amazing because gone.
there's three campuses. There's one they do it in Guildford, London, and in Birmingham. So
Yeah.
you've got three choices. So you can just go which one you want.
Wow, that was research. It takes me back to my conversation I was having with Jasmine Knight. We are talking about how the sort of the general academic world hasn't always been accommodating to all different people's talents and skills that they might have, and people forced into doing things like math, science, English, and that might just not be where their interest lies, let alone whether it's their strong points or not. So just knowing that there are more alternative things out there is so encouraging to hear.
Yeah, for real. I mean, they do production there. They got games, like video games department as well. And then there's all like instrumentalists, singers, vocalists, everything. So it's all in one building. So um, try and get them to collab with each other cross pathway as much as possible. Um, but yeah, it's cool, man. There's a lot of different creative people all in one building. So
Yeah.
it's good.
Oh, amazing. So what was the first record that you bought growing up?
First record I bought when I was growing up, it was I think I can't remember how old I was, but there was this tune, yeah, it came out, it's called Quadrophenia, and it was like what was it called? Quadrophonia. I can't remember. It was like a rave tune, yeah.
Yeah.
And it had these because I remember I actually had a little bit of money. I don't know how I got this money. And then I went into Woolworths and I bought it from there. And it was like, I think it was called Quadrophonia, yeah. And it had this like, it was like a breakbeat rave tune. And it had this string bit, like was these synthesized strings, was like dun 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 dun. And I remember it was a banger, yeah. And I bought that. And yeah, that's the first record I ever bought. And it was like one of them small, I think what they 7-inch records, is that what it is? The small
Yeah,
record,
yeah,
isn't it? Yeah, one of them ones. Yeah, man, that's the first record I ever bought.
yeah. So were you having then to play that on your dad's record player? Or did you have your own?
Yeah, on my dad's record player. But he was cool with it. He wouldn't mind. He let my sister just like me and my sister. We just play records and all that. So he might be scathing of it, saying, "Oh, it's not very complicated," or it's not like this or that, because he's more into like that stuff, But you'd still let us just do our thing, innit? So it was cool. Yeah, that's my first record there, innit? Yeah.
That's amazing, and I love like just hearing as well. Like I hear a lot in these conversations how older siblings influence the younger siblings' music. So I guess that's normal. Like you share with your younger siblings and things like that. But also, the other thing I love hearing is that people often are coming from musical households, not necessarily households where they have parents that are also into drum, bass, rave, or anything like that, but just parents who are into music and therefore can respect that different people have their different preferences in music.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, my dad, he was a singer as well, and so that's where that all comes from. My mum wasn't she liked music and that, but she was just into the more general stuff. Like she really liked the Beatles and like old rock and roll acts and things like that. So we just hear stuff like there, and then it was just a normal kind of. You hear jazz, you hear like rock and roll, and then I even remember at school at the time, it wasn't like, I remember my high school I was at, it was like a split between if you like happy hardcore or if you like drum and bass. There was a split there, but then people they all seemed to like hip hop, and they'd also on the side of that they'd be like in grunge music like Nirvana and Pearl Jam and all that. So it was very, very like mixed. I remember I had one tape, had Cypress Hill on one side and then Nirvana on the other side. And I used to bang that out in my Walkman and whatever. And so it was all a lot of different influences at that time coming in. I don't know if it's more split now. I think the younger generation, they're into everything, but then some are just solely into just one genre in it, and they don't want to mess with the other genres. So it all depends, innit? Even like look at drum and bass, it's got so many subgenres now that just people don't even want to listen to anything from the other subgenre, and it's just mad, innit? So
yeah, that is a good point. Actually, it's quite interesting. Yeah. And I'm definitely with you as well. As someone who grew up listening to all different kinds of genres, like you'd be very confused looking at my CD collection and my tape collection. So from E17 to like drum and bass, it'd be the wildest stuff. Yeah,
man.
Who would you say were some of your, or who are some of your biggest influences, and how they shaped you as you are today as an MC?
So for MCing, it would probably be like Stevie Hyper D and Skibbity. Then like Fat Man D as well. I had one tape, that I still got to this day, and this was a recording of someone at school. They gave me the original. I just taped it off them because that's what we all used to do back then. And it was Dance Concept at the Island, and it was the DJ was Andy C. And the MCs at the beginning was Shabba and Skibber, and then it went to MC Fats with Fat Man D, and then Skibber come back on at the end. And that tape was wicked, man. I used to run that tape all the time, innit? Because the Andy C's is mixing really good tunes and everything, and all the MCs were just great on it. So you had all the different styles as well, because Fats was doing the singing thing on there, then Fat Man D was doing the kind of the ragga stuff as well, and then you had Skibber and Shabba doing their thing. It was just cool. So that was one of my favourite tapes from then. And then even like listening to like One in the Jungle on Radio 1. I remember that was on. I used to hear a lot of different guests passing through, like you'd have MC Det hosting it quite a lot, and then Navigator was hosting it quite a lot, and you just Moose as well, and you'd hear all these different voices. You don't really get that now on the big commercial radios. They don't really have it like that. I think One in the Jungle was a really good format because you had the DJs and the MCs working together on it. So you know, I do miss that. But probably for MCing, I'd say like Skibbity was like my favorite. Then like Shabba, Fat Man D, Det, Navigator, you know, all them kind of names, those kind of people. Yeah.
Good people, many of the good people, but yeah, definitely some good people there. Did you know back then when you were listening to, you know, those tapes and, you know, sharing music with your older sister, did you know back then that's when you wanted to be an MC?
No, not at all. No.
When did you realise?
Because I'd had it with music after I finished in that choir. It was like 1993 or something. Then after that, I was like, nah, I just want to do drawing in it. So I was just concentrated on just drawing, and I just drew cartoons all the time, and that's what I wanted to. I'd had enough of music and being people shouting at me and all that kind of stuff. So I was just like, I just want to do drawing, and that's it. I don't want to do any more music. Like F it, basically, innit? And then it was going to my first raves and stuff, and then my friend, my friend Robin had got some decks, and he was starting to DJ, and we were in the car one time. We were playing Original Nutter, and we were just singing along to it. And then I could do the fast bit, rap the fast bit, like the like that bit, yeah. And my friend was like, "Oh, you should try MC." I was like, "All right." So we just started it for a laugh, and then I actually enjoyed it, and that's what first got me into doing that. So, and then at the same time, I wanted to do hip hop as well because I always loved hip hop. But in the UK at that time, I hadn't really heard people chatting in a British accent in hip hop. But the MCs I heard first chatting in British accent were the drum and bass MCs. So that's kind of like they influenced me in that way. I think then I heard like Rodney P chatting in a British accent a bit later, and I was like, oh, okay, cool, because I'd never heard London Posse in the 80s and 90s and that. It's just later I heard Rodney P, so I was like, oh, cool. You can do hip hop as well in England and that in a British accent. So yeah, I'd say like all of them people influenced me, and then all of the like the American artists, the big American artists at the time, they were influences as well. So like the groups I like from there would be like Cypress Hill, M.O.P., Mobb Deep, Busta Rhymes, who else? Nas, all of that kind of era, Snoop, NWA, all that kind of stuff there. So that would be the influence there, really. Like then I didn't really know about Bone Thugs and Harmony till a bit later, till about 2001 or something. And then I found out about them, and people were like, oh, they assumed that I'd be influenced by them because I was chatting fast, but it wasn't. I was influenced by like the drum and bass MCs to chat fast and stuff, innit? So I didn't really know about them, and then I heard them. I was like, oh, they're sick. And then, you know, you just go on musical journeys, innit, and finding out loads and loads of stuff, innit?
Yeah. So. Bone Thugs and Harmony, they were so unique. I remember when I first heard them, like they're like singing and rapping. It's like it's just so different.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
good.
Even like French rap. My sister had a CD by MC Solar. She had a tape. It was a tape in it. Yeah, she had a tape of MC Solar from France. Yeah, and that I didn't know what he was talking about, but the beats were just really good. It was an album called Pros Combat, and the beats were wicked. All like soul sample beats and everything. And the way he rapped was really like expressive, and he was like had a really nice voice and everything, and just vibe to him. I don't know what he's saying, but it was just wicked. So just like loads of different things influenced me, I reckon. So
Yeah, and I think even if you can't understand the language, there is that thing with the, listening to how someone's words and flow sort of intertwines with the music. That can you can get so much out of that without understanding a word of what they're saying,
Yeah,
or
for
just
real.
understanding every few words here and there.
Yeah, definitely, definitely, definitely. So
You, sorry, go on.
no, yeah, yeah. You carry on, you carry on. It's cool.
No, because I got excited when you sort of mentioned, when you started going to your first raves.
Hmm.
Where did you go, and how would you describe that
So
experience?
I think my first rave, yeah, was at the UEA in East Anglia in Norwich. They used to
Oh
do a
wow,
rave called Rumble, and because I was living up there at the time, innit, so I went. I think I was 16 or something like that. Yeah, I think I was 16. I went there, and this rave was called Rumble, and they used to have it in the UEA at the in the main, like, I don't know, the main hall for the students or whatever. But yeah, it was wicked, man. Like, they had all this is back when, like, they really went in on the decorations as well. And they had like all inflatable palm trees around because it's jungle and all that kind of
yeah,
stuff, and it was just cool, man. I was like, wow, this is crazy. And then I remember my favorite set that night was Marvelous Kane. Um, and the mad thing was, yeah, because I remember asking people like, oh, how do they make jungle then? Because my cousin um must have told me, he was living in Peckham at the time. He was around all of the stuff going on, and he was like, oh, it's sped up hip hop, like, break beats with reggae bass lines. And I was like, wow, they're doing that on the decks live. Yeah, I thought they literally had one. I thought they had one deck where they were doing the bass line there, and one deck they had the break beat, and they were just doing it. I was like, wow, that's amazing. But then I found out later, no, they're producing it first and then putting it. So
yeah.
so yeah, like, I was just like, this is sick. Yeah. So then, yeah, I used to just go to all those ones, and then used to go to London, um and go to those events as well. And then I moved back to London in, was it 99, and then I was used to go to the raves there, like, Bar Rumba. Used to go every week on the Thursday, and then I used to go to Stratford Rex, Bagley's, um, Coliseum in Vauxhall. That used to be a good one.
Hmm.
The End Club, used to go there for Renegade Hardware, or I can't remember if
Okay.
they were calling it Trouble on Vinyl or Renegade Hardware at that point. I can't remember, but used to go there for that. Um, and then I started MCing myself. So then, the Thursday night, I got a residency in Brixton at Dogstar, at a night called Deck Effects. So that stopped me going to Bar Rumba because I was doing that every Thursday.
Mm.
And then just from there, just started building really, and then meeting and connecting with people and doing more stuff. Um, and then a mass club, Deck Effects, used to do a monthly there. Used to MC there for them, and then other people asked me, started to be residents at their things, in Brixton as well. At the fridge bar, and it was like you had the fridge, and then you had the fridge bar. They used to do a thing on Wednesday night, drum and bass thing there. So just, yeah, things were just, that's how I got into it. Um,
Yeah.
but then, yeah, about 2004, more opportunities were coming from hip hop, and I just thought drum and bass was very locked off. I thought it was like a boys' club, and I just thought, you know what, this hip hop thing, there people are actually, they'll speak to me, they'll talk to me, they won't just try to look away in the club when you catch eye contact and all that, and they're interested. So I just moved into that, and then I ended up doing a load of stuff in there, with labels and whatnot, and then that had, like, my own little thing going on there in it. So drum and
Hmm.
bass, kind of, I stopped doing it. So I only came back to it in about 2010. So
Okay.
yeah.
What do you think came out of that sort of short hiatus, like that short break from drum bass jungle, going into sort of hip hop for a little bit and then coming back? Like, did you notice anything change in your style or your flow or anything like that?
Um, I don't know. Like, when I came back to drum and bass, people were like, "Oh yeah, you sound like you used to do grime or something like that as well, or hip hop or whatever." And I
Mm.
was like, "Well, yeah, I have gone and done that." Um, so they said that, but I mean, for me, that going to there was good because I got to do things that if I was just trying to plug away being a drum and bass MC, there's people that were there the same time as me, and they've had to plug away in room 2 and 3, and then get into the main room, but then not getting like the cosign or whatever, and then they just like having to have that experience for years is very disheartening. Whereas I went into the hip hop thing, and immediately things just started to pick up. Got signed, videos out on TV, album out, touring. Then I was doing my own. I started producing my own beats. I was in a group called AC and Terror, and we started just doing our own thing, running around the country. We're selling CDs on the street everywhere. Just we'd hit different cities, and then we started doing shows of our own, touring. Do you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
It was good for me to do that because it was more, you're getting more back for all the effort you were putting in. It wasn't like a little boys club that was just locked off. So it was just like you could go and be a new artist, and people were interested in hearing what you got to say and hearing your tunes. And then radio DJs were playing it, and then I had tunes on the A list, so we got nice money on the playlist and whatnot. And then it was a good experience. But I always still loved drum and bass, so I'd always like watch what was going on sometimes. And then when I saw Harry Shotter come in there, he like Skibber and Fun, MC Fun, like gave him the bringing and that. I thought, oh, okay, things are changing a bit. They're letting new talent in. So then Random Concept were doing this Random Concept Academy thing, innit? So they said they send a tape, and then you could get or CD or whatever, and you could get a residency with them. So I entered that competition, and I won that and got a residency with them. So then from there, just started back in the rave scene, innit? And because at the time as well, in hip hop, I was getting good money from selling the actual album, selling physical copies and all that. But when MP3 came out and everything, the market started dipping. And when online sharing, file sharing and all that, it got hammered, yeah. So the money was going down, down, down. So I just thought, you know what, the main earner is performing live.
Yeah.
So I'm going to get into a scene that's got a lot of performing live, and I haven't got to sell out to be able to do that, because drum and bass is still underground music. I can say what I want and just go do that and make money doing that. Because in hip hop, when you're working with a label or whatever, then they're investing the money, then they're saying, oh, we want you to chat about this, do songs about this, and it all just got kind of like, it's always got to be about being in the club and just seeing a girl in there that you fancy and and it's just all got boring and a bit formulaic. So I was like, nah, I don't want to do that. And it was mad because the tunes that actually done best were the ones that were talking about a social issue, like a political thing or a relatable topic. Like I had this tune about being broke, and that popped off. That was on MTV Base and all the rest of it. And I was like, well, why can't these labels see that? That's the tunes that are doing the best. Why are they still trying to push this whole club thing and, all that kind of stuff? It didn't, to me, it didn't make sense, innit? So even like another tune that I'd done that got loads of attention and everything was about like honor killing and forced marriage and all that kind of thing. Yeah. And that one popped off. So it was like the issue tunes, because they resonate with people. Well, this is what I'm dealing with in my life as well, or I'm going through this, or I know someone who's gone through that, or blah blah blah. Yeah. Then they would do better than the generic things. But that's the thing in it. Labels at that time, I don't think in like 90s, early 2000s, up until 2000 and like mid 2013 or 14, 15, they didn't know how to promote black music at all in the UK. They didn't know what they're doing. So they're just looking at America thinking, oh, that's what's working there. We'll just copy that. And like I even had people telling me you shouldn't chat in a British accent, you should be chatting American accent because the Cockney thing's never going to work here and da da da. And now look at all these British artists, these drill artists are smashing it, chatting in their own accent and everything. So it was like we were at a time where the industry hadn't caught up with what we were doing. So that's why so many of us said, right, screw the industry, we'll just go on the street and sell our CDs ourselves and direct to the public, build our own fan base. I'd be out there every day. I used to do like, first I started on Oxford Street and I was selling R&B and hip hop compilation CDs for my cousin Jay. He was DJ, used to make them. It was called the J series. So I used to sell them. And then when I'd recorded my own mixtape, then me and Terra started selling our one, and then we went to Leicester Square and we would sell there every day. And then at the weekend, we'd go to another city and sell there. Wow. But, you know, that was our grind, innit? And it was financially rewarding, you know, you could pay the mortgage with it and everything. And the only thing was, though, I was just tired. After doing all them things, I was just tired, innit? So I wouldn't want to go to a rave, or I wouldn't want to go to the club. So then it was kind of like cutting off your networking with the industry people. So that was the only thing that was detrimental about it. Looking back now, if I could have done it with a bit more balance, then maybe I could have worked things better. But you know, that was the main thing was us doing what we wanted musically, saying what we wanted, and just being able to connect with the fans without having a middleman there trying to tell us what to do or this or that. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, like there was a lot of them doing that. A lot of these rappers were doing that. Mike GLC, he had a whole street team of guys doing it for him. Then there was like people like Styler, was out there. He's friends with like Loki and that, and Genesis, Elijah, that's Terra's brother, he used to roll with us, Mr. Drastic, loads of these names, you probably know quite a few of them, but it was just out there, man, and we're just making our own little industry. But then when the MP3 come out, it ruined everything. So
and then you just had LimeWire, right, and people just like downloading things here and then everywhere. And do you know, as you're talking about that stuff, like just people selling CDs in Leicester Square, that's just such a nostalgic sort of memory for me, because I remember that so well. And those sort of, you know, those compilation CDs. We used to buy one called Hot to Death. It was like a
that's my cousin Jay. Jay used to work.
No way.
Before he done his own one. If you look at the CD, you'll see, my cousin's name is on there, isn't it?
Because you know when you said J series, right?
Yeah.
And then my mind went, that sounds familiar. So I must have subliminally still had it there.
You might have got one. You might have got one of them. Still.
Probably.
Maybe you bought it off me, or you might have bought it off my cousin. So he used to work for Hot to Death, and then he branched out and did his own thing, the J series, isn't it? So yeah, man. Because he'd lived in America. And he had all the links out there because he was doing music and stuff. Like he used to rap and sing as well, but then he got into the DJing side of things. So he had links in America who was sending all the latest tunes before anyone else got them here. And then he'd do the compilations and then go and sell them, innit?
Amazing. Yeah, because we were way ahead of any listen to Hot Stuff CD, and some of these songs people don't even know because it didn't even really make it over here as well. But yeah, definitely ahead of the game when you listen to those CDs. My mum...
Even because I'd listen to the CD and I'd be like, I don't really like these tunes. I don't really like many of these tunes. And then about 2 months later or 3 months later, they'd all come out and they'd be getting banged in the car. Like, oh yeah, that's that tune. And then I'd be like, oh yeah, it's actually quite good. Yeah. So it would be, you know, it was weird.
And even you talking about like accents as well, like what sort of accents that people might use, you know, British people accents they might use, and then being heavily influenced by the US, and just looking at now how the US look at UK grime and, you know, and our music scene, they love it. They love our accent as well.
Yeah. I mean, I remember even like when I've done like research for teaching at the uni, like looking at the origins of hip hop and all of that, like a lot of New York rappers, like Chuck D, Busta Rhymes, all these guys have all said that they were influenced by listening to the British tapes of sound clashes that the reggae sound systems were doing, and that's where they got their influence from. So I was like, it's mad, isn't it? It's just all like a circle is going around, and then we got influenced by them, and then, do you know what I mean? So like, even when I first started rapping, I sounded like Snoop, innit? I was chatting in American accent, sounded like Snoop, that kind of thing, innit? So it was funny, man. And then you just learn, oh no, I've got to represent myself, innit? And and do it in my own accent and stuff. So,
But like you sort of mentioned that there was an element as well of sort of record labels wanting to have so much say so in what people were speaking about. And as you said that talking about meeting a girl in the club, there was just the whole era of rap. It was like, let me buy you a drink, a girl in the club, a guy says a girl walking down the street. I'm thinking of Neo. I'm just, all those songs were literally about being in the club and guys hitting on girls. And girls, what were girls singing about? I don't remember as much, but it was all that sort of relationshipy type thing, and there wasn't that sort of breadth. So I really excited to talk to you as well about like what led you then to start to use your words and your art as activism for knife crime, and that's something that you're quite passionate about.
Well, yeah, with the because I was working part-time with I did a course in like 2011 in peer support work for like mental health support, and then in about 2016 I got a job working for a company that provided support for like mental health support for teenagers, and then also for young offenders and people who just got out of prison and stuff like that. So then I started working for them, and just like we're living in London, you're always hearing about someone got knifed up or this happened or that, or someone got shot and da 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 da. So having like known certain people that's happened to, and people getting killed and this and that, so then you're always thinking about that kind of stuff. And just like, even like from when I first started listening to hip hop, it was all like Public Enemy, all these people, they're all talking about issues. It wasn't what you were just referencing there in the mid 2000s. It got like very formulaic, but before that they were all talking about different issues, political stuff, that stopping the violence, all that kind of thing. So I was working in that, and then you see you work with these kids, you're hearing all of this stuff they've had to go through and why they chose to do the things they did, or be in a gang or this or that or all the rest of it. And then there was a young kid from Northolt, Jason Isaacs. He got stabbed to death, and there was a campaign put together. MC Bellyman put it together, and he hollered at me and said, "Oh, can you do a freestyle? We're all doing freestyles about drop the knife, value life, innit?" So I was like, cool. So I done one. I used the old Jay-Z beat for it from his first album. I can't remember I think Feeling It, that beat. So I used that one, done that, and it did well. It got shared a lot and a lot of views and that, and people were saying it was good and whatnot. So I always wanted to put those lyrics to an actual tune, and it was just finding the right tune. And then this producer Scuff, I'd worked with him on another tune that went out on Formation in 2021, maybe it was, or something like that, called For Certain. And he sent me some more beats, and I heard this one beat, and I was like, that would go wicked with these bars, innit? And then he had a little melody there, and that made me think of the hook. So I did it to that melody and then like sang it. And then then we just thought, let's get a singer on there as well. And one time I was teaching at ACM Guildford, we were doing a studio session with all the rappers, and one of the vocal students, Lachey, came in to do a feature for one of them, and she had a wicked voice. So I was like, "Oh, would you be interested in singing on this one?" She was like, "Yeah, cool." So then done another studio session, got her vocals down, and then Scuff mixed it all together, and then we just started sending the tune around. And I got another guy called X4. He's a producer that does a more like kind of like the more like housey, big room kind of organ sounding drum and bass kind of thing. Got him to do a mix of it. So two very different mixes, and then just send it around to labels. And then GTA Recordings were like, yeah, we want to put this out, and they chat to the Ben Kinsella Trust. They are a foundation set up in Islington, North London, that was for this kid Ben Kinsella who got stabbed there, and they want to fight knife crime through education
Yeah.
and stuff. So then they said we'll give them 25% of all of the profits of the tune.
Yeah.
And then then they featured it on their website as well, I think. And or was it them? No, it was another thing. Fighting Knife Crime London put it on their website, but Ben Kinsella Trust were involved in them as well and all that. So that went hand in hand, and then just trying to do that really. Just I mean, I might do a remix of it, like a lo-fi drill remix, get one of them done of it, and then put that out too. But it was just really about, because what we were talking about before, and I was saying like tunes that we're talking about issues.
Yeah.
They kind of hit the best with people. A lot of people said they related to these tunes to me. So I thought, well, I like doing those kind of tunes, and then this is an important thing that's going on, because I know so many of these young people that are getting involved in this stuff and everything. Like even things that happened to me in my past where I could have been killed. So it's like it is a serious thing, and I think that just trying to just spread awareness, and then if listening to the tune or anything can maybe even make someone think twice or whatever, then that's a good thing, isn't it? So just wanted to do that really. Like the young people I work with, a lot of them, they're doing big time in jail now for their friend might have got killed and then they've retaliated, and now they're in jail for ages, or all of this kind of stuff in it. So there's a lot of pressure on the young people. Like people say, "Oh, you should just string them up," or whatever, when they think about knife crime and everything, but they're not really understanding the amount of social issues that's going on that then creates the knife crime problem. And if they actually, went and researched it, then they would feel very differently about it, maybe. And then, because a lot of these kids that are in that, they've been abused themselves from young, or they've had like real bad family situations, or even like if they haven't, it might be in a situation where both their parents are having to work like two, 3 jobs or whatever. They just can't be at home. And since austerity measures came in, I think in like 2010s or whatever, there's no like real youth clubs or places where the youth can meet. Youth work is down. So there's then that's when the problems start happening in it, because they got no safe place to go. So then they end up rolling with a gang for safety, and a lot of kids are carrying knives just for protection. Then they think they have to have it for protecting themselves. They're not thinking, "Oh, I've got this knife so I can go out and kill someone." They're not thinking that. They're thinking, "I need this to protect myself from other people who are going to try and rob me, or try bully me, or try stab me up, or for whatever reason," innit? So that's the thing. Like even like late 90s, when the whole garage thing was going on and there was loads of gun crime in London, a lot of the people who were carrying guns weren't carrying guns because they wanted to go out and kill people. They felt they needed it for protection because they'd been shot at before. Like if I remember a lot of the garage MCs who were doing really well and everything, they were getting shot at and stuff. Like when people see them in the car, like the back windows are getting shot out by guns and everything. So that's going to affect you. You're going to be like, "I need protection because the police aren't going to protect me. They can't. So I need to protect myself." And so then that's where the whole cycle comes. Like even in America, where guns are legal, it's even worse there. You got rappers who a lot of them would be like caught with an illegal gun, and then they're going to jail for that. But the reason why they had the gun is for their own protection, because there's so many haters who are jealous of their success. They want to rob them, in it. So then they feel the need to have a gun, and so it's just a whole vicious spiral, in it. It's just mad.
Absolutely. And and it's one of those knife crime, I think, particularly in the UK, It's one of those things that no one seems to have this solution for. I commented on an Instagram post that you put up, like, what can we do about knife crime? And it's just like, it's exactly that. It needs funding, and it needs to look at all the different things around it. Like you said, looking at the social issues that can, create an environment where, things like this occurs. But the other thing I was thinking about is what you said about youth workers, and thinking about how you're using music for your, advocacy and activism. In that, I used to go to youth centres, like growing up, we had an adventure playground, and it was the fact that the youth workers could talk to you in a way that you would listen. Because if your teacher said the same thing, you'd be like, that's my teacher. But because the youth workers, they were just they were like your big brother or your big sister type thing, and you'd listen. And I think that's another place where music can be so valuable, because when you're rapping, or you're talking, using music to communicate a really important issue, certain people might listen where they might not have listened to different types of media.
I mean, there was one that I worked at over summer, I think it was 2022, in Walthamstow. And I can't remember off the top of my head the name of it now, but they were doing really good work there. They had the whole youth centre, and the kids were coming in. They had the bouncy castle and this and that, and at the end of the celebration. But before that, it was like they were getting them in the studio, working on different projects all summer. And it's just like, it's building that sense of community with all these kids, so they all know each other. And it's just, a lot better. Whereas if you don't have that, if there's no community hub, then people get more separated, and then you get rivalries and all this kind of stuff happening. So, I can't remember the name of the organisation, man, but they did really good work, man. They're based in Walthamstow, innit? But if there could be more of them like that all over London, which I know that there used to be, now there isn't, because of the cuts in the funding, then I think that would have an effect, a knock-on effect with that generation. There's like the generation that's been failed, there's got a load of different issues they've got to go through to then solve that problem within themselves. But then for the next generation, you can tackle it there by all of these kind of community centres and youth work and all that. So, because if you be someone who's been through situations yourself on road and all that kind of stuff, then, or you've got something that the young people can relate to, because they're also going through that. So then that's why the youth work thing really will help. But as long as the government don't want to fund it, then it's a bit of a problem. So,
and there's spending cuts all over the place. Even like like you said, community, but even like you talked about kids need the need to protect themselves. We don't see that many. Not that everyone can really rely on the police these days either, but even then you don't really see many police around either, and so it's just like people do feel unsafe. It's messy. It's really messy. There was another song that you said the drop the knife that raised funds, and there was another song that you've got out at the moment, isn't it, that is also raising funds. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
This one is called Decapitate, and not because we're talking about chopping anyone's heads off or anything like that, but because the beat was called Decapitator, that Ego Tripping produced. And this was in like lockdown, I don't know, maybe it was 2021, but I was chatting to Skibber on the phone and said, let's do a tune. He was like, yeah, cool. What beat you want to do? So I went through some beats and saw that one by Ego Tripping, and then sent it to him, and he loved it. And then he made a hook that said Decapitate in it, because the tune was called Decapitator. So he said the hook, and at the end of the bar in every hook it says Decapitate. And so then like played it to Ego Tripping. He was like, yeah, that's cool. So then we both did our verses, and then we were going to go back to back on a third verse, but then I was like, why don't we get another MC on there? So he was like, oh, who do you think? So we went through a few names and that, and then I said, look, what about Spooker? Because Skibber and Spooker got on well as well, and he used to put Spooker on his birthday bashes and all this kind of stuff too. And he was like, yeah, he'll smash it. So we got Spooker to do the third verse. Um, and then unfortunately, last year he passed away. And then from that, then I wanted to release the tune as like a fundraiser
Mm.
for his kids and that. So I just had to, behind the scenes, I had to talk to a few people to get permission and this and that, and chat to his daughter Asia and a few other family people, um, and all that kind of stuff. His partner Cherie as well, chat to her and everything. Got all the blessing from everyone, and then we shot the video, and we did it in King's Cross,
Mm-hmm.
and because Bagley's is there, the old building that Bagley's was, so we thought we'd do it there, pay tribute to like the rave scene and all that, because we used to go raving there, see Skibbers smashing it up in there and everything. So it was like, yeah, let's pay tribute to that there too. And then I had loads of footage from raves. So I used to take my camera to raves and film quite a lot of stuff in it. So I had loads of footage of him on stage, and
Wow.
so I started editing it together. And the mad thing was, like, it's just like it's just lip sync just seemed to work, even though he's not even chatting that song. It just seemed to work, so it was crazy, innit? So done that, and then we put the video out as a fundraiser last month,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, so that is a memorial bash on the 4th of November. We're going to perform that as well. So yeah, man, that's the tune I got out at the moment. And yeah, that's another kind of like fundraiser tune.
Yeah.
But apart from that, I'm just doing loads of vocal tunes at the moment with different producers. Because I remember before in drum and bass, you couldn't get, no producers wouldn't work with you to do a vocal tune.
Mm.
They were all like trying to just get American rappers to come and rap on their tunes, like back then. And then they just wanted like grime MCs to come and do a tune, and they wouldn't get actual drum and bass MCs. Now this younger generation, they're cool in it. They're on it. They're like, they want to work with you. So
Yeah.
I've got a tune with Big Lou called Conflict. That's out on his EP at the moment, called Thoughts EP. That's on Spotify. And then I've got another tune. They're all very different sounding as well. The other kind of
Mm.
tune I've got is like a political tune, is with this Canadian producer called Bear Dems, and it's out on 10 Tons
Mm-hmm.
UK record label. That one is called The 1%, and it's talking about the economic system, and it's talking about what happened in the pandemic in the second verse, and like what's gone on with that kind of madness. And it's all about crony capitalism and all that kind of stuff. So that's another issue led tune that I
Yeah.
put out. And then we've got another tune on the Drop the Knife EP called Rave My Life Away, which is me like reminiscing on raves from back in the day up till now. And I'm gonna do a video for that as well. I haven't done one yet because just had a whole load of madness happen this year in it. So
Yeah.
yeah, because like my mum was in hospital
Right.
from Christmas, like no, Boxing Day. I think she went in hospital, and then like she come out in February. Then no, she come out in March. I think then she had to go to a convalescent home. Got out April, and in May she passed away. She had a fall and that.
Oh.
So and then that caused internal bleeding, and then yeah, so it was a bit of a mad. They sorted that out,
Mm.
but then the because they had to put her under heavy anesthetic in order to do it. She just didn't come out of that, and the lungs started filling up with fluid. That's one of the risks of that. So then, yeah, that's how she passed away, man. So then from
I'm so
there,
sorry.
thank you. And I didn't do anything for about a month. Did no raves,
Yeah.
nothing. And then after that, when I come back, then the put the Drop the Knife tune out. That's the first tune, and then now it's just I've got loads of stuff backed up, so I've got loads of stuff to release in it. So
Mm.
so yeah, so that's just been the situation this year. But I was gonna do
Yeah.
another birthday bash this year because I'd done one previous. I just thought, nah, I can't. It's too much, man. I can't be dealing with all this stuff. I've got
A lot
something
to
else.
organise.
Yeah. So you know,
There's so much to organise. You talked. I mean, I'd love to hear a little bit more about your creative process because, you know, of course, when personal life and big things happen in our personal lives, like that is always going to take priority. But it sounds like once you took that time out for yourself, that you came back and you created a lot of wonderful tunes. And so, can you talk us a little bit through your creative process? Like, do you have a process, or like what helps you to fuel your creativity?
Just I think just looking around and seeing what's going on in the world, I'll just write lyrics anyway. Like stuff will just pop in my head when I'm driving in the car or whatever, and then when I pull over, then I'll write it all down, and then just that really, and then just seeing what's going on, and then if I holler at a producer or they holler at me and say, "Do you want to do a tune?" I say, "Okay, yeah, send me the tune." So then I write to it. So the tune is gonna kind of evoke what I'm gonna write about, because I'll hear the mood of the tune and then I want to write to it. But there has been instances where it's gone the other way around, like with the drop the knife tune in it. I already had those bars there, and then heard the tune that I thought, oh, it will go with it. But then the tune did influence how the chorus went and all of that kind of stuff. So it's mainly just by seeing what's going on and then just writing things. Things just pop into my head, and then I'll just do a whole verse and then think, okay, verse 2, 3, whatever, let's go, and then do a hook and all that. So it's mainly that really. That would be the thing that informs it, and then just from there, then think, oh, can I collab with a singer on this, or get another MC on this, or that kind of thing. I got a tune with Exile that should be coming out soon. That's about jealousy in relationships, and then so I'd done 2 verses, and then I wanted a female perspective, so I've got a female MC to do the next verse. I won't tell you who it is exactly.
I was gonna say, like, who is it? I have to wait.
So yeah, so there's that one, and then what else? I've got a tune I'm doing, like all different kinds of stuff really. I'm just trying to just like experiment and have fun with it at the moment, and just do different things, like started kind of like singing again. Like I really didn't like singing at all. I just got put off it completely by being in that choir and everything. And then now just trying to like mess around, like singing a bit on a hook or here and there or whatever, and doing that. So
Nice.
like I think one of the people that actually made me like singing again was like Nate Dogg. Like hearing how he does it, because the way he pitches his voice, anyone, man or woman, can sing along to it. He's very smart how he pitches his voice in the way where if you've got a low voice, you can still sing along. If you've got a high voice, you can still sing along. It's not uncomfortable. Like it's clever how he does it, and then the way he can switch from his chest voice to his head voice, and like like going from like normal tone to then falsetto high, in just like one. I don't know if he was doing it all in one take or if he's doing it in separate takes, but it sounds good anyway. So just hearing that, and then that's kind of like got me into like singing a bit again. So I might be doing a bit more of that on tunes and whatnot. But yeah, so that would be my creative thing. Like usually it's just what I want to get out. Like so if I'm pissed off or frustrated with the world, then I'll write a tune in it. And so a lot of the stuff I'm writing about might be my observations on social things going on. Like I remember one of my favorite rap albums was Ice Cube Death Certificate, because on that album, literally every tune is about a different social issue facing America in like 1992, and it's like, do you know what I mean? So or was it 91? I can't remember, but it was either one of those years. So in that album, like every different tune has got a social issue being talked about. So I thought that was a really good album. So I try and do my thing kind of like that. That's how I used to do, like a lot of my hip hop albums would be that kind of vibe. And then going forward into doing these drum and bass tunes, that'll probably be how I do it as well.
How does that work? Circling back to, because I've written that note down there where I talked about you mentioned sort of Jump Up being more MC friendly, like having that creative freedom within the drum and bass scene. Do you find that there are certain genres where you don't feel like you could, or you don't feel like you quote unquote fit in,
Well,
or it's so welcoming? Is that what I'm trying to say?
yeah, I mean, with Jump Up, it's like it's looked down upon by a lot of snobs from the other genres. But then when a Jump Up tune blows up, then these same snobs will be playing the tune in their sets anyway because they feel I don't know, they see the reaction to the crowd. The crowd just go mad in it. But to a well produced Jump Up tune that's got a real catchy riff, it's like it's like I remember there was one girl who didn't she was into grunge, yeah, and um she was very skeptical. Her friend was trying to get her to come into Sticky, the rave at Scala, and it's a Jump Up rave in it. So I was like to her, like, what bands do you like in it? And she was like, oh, Nirvana, this. So I said, okay, do you like the tune Breed by Nirvana? And she was like, yeah, because that's a very simple, like, it's a fast tune. It's like drum and bass tempo, that tune, pretty much, yeah. And it's got a bass line just doing a riff, like, and it does it all the way through, yeah. She was like, yeah, that's one of my favorites. I said, yeah, you'll love it. And just go in, you like. And she was like, really? I was like, yeah, trust me. She went in there, and then I saw her later in one of the rooms. She was like, "Oh my god, yeah, I love this. This is mad. This is mad." Because all the tunes were just is like that kind of vibe, isn't it? It's just it's like it's the bass line riff that is the bit, and then the drums, isn't it? And so like obviously there's the screechy Jump Up stuff, but this was like I thought, okay, she'll like that stuff, in it. So that's where it worked. But what I liked about the Jump Up scene was it's mad because even back in the day, you had like all Andy C and all these people and the raves, they would be classed as doing Jump Up events, isn't it? And then there's this big divide now, and it's just weird. But so like tunes, like even Bad Company tunes, all them would be getting played in Jump Up raves, and now this that's called Neuro and this and that, and it's all very strange. But like just from the fact of you can as an MC just do what you want, and you're not going to have someone being like a gatekeeper saying, "Oh, we just want you to host like a little bit, and then maybe you can spit a few 8 bars here and there," and da 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 da. Like, nah, man. I've written all these bars.
Yeah,
I want to do it. I want to do what I want to do. So I'm going to go to where people appreciate that. I'm not going to go and try and perform in a place where people don't appreciate that, because there's no point. Like we used to go do Belgium. Now Belgium Jump Up raves, innit? They don't really want you to MC that much. They don't really like the MC seeing thing too tough. If it's too much, they'll be complaining on Facebook afterwards. You see all these complaints and everything. Oh, it's not a rap concert and all this kind of stuff. Yeah. So out there, you got to host it, and there, it's more like hosting but they want you to host for a few DJs. So you can spit a few bars here and there, but if you start spitting more than the 16, you see the crowd like it's losing them. So it's more like just hosting, vibing, and blah blah blah. But I don't want to do that all the time because I get bored. I become an alcoholic. I keep reaching for that brandy and whatever the promoter's got.
The rider, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I'll be swinging that all night. I'll become an alcoholic. So I don't. Yeah. I'd rather do like raves where I can actually perform and do to my full ability or whatever. And the Jump Up raves let you do that. And so that's the beauty of the Jump Up scene as well. Like it feels like how drum and bass and jungle like was originally, with the MC and the DJ working together kind of thing. And it's still got that. Whereas other scenes, it's all just about the DJ. The MC's not even there anymore. Or like there's so many raves now that just don't even have an MC. Or the DJ's trying to MC for themselves, like just saying stuff themselves, innit? So you know, so that's why the Jump Up thing's cool. The other even like I've been doing a few of the Liquid things, and I've done the live band Liquid thing with Illmatica and Miss Trouble, Sharona Knight, and some amazing musicians. And we did Boomtown. We did a whole live set where we had all of our tunes and we put them all in one set. And I got to perform my tune for Certain there. live and everything. We all did loads of rehearsals, all learned each other's backups and this and that on various tunes, and that was wicked. Doing that was like, it was next level, man. And then like I did another live thing with Illmatica, and it was called D&B Soul Train and all of that. So we've done another thing in Brixton at what's the place? Hootenanny's Brixton.
I love Hootenanny.
And we've done that. Their whole another set that went off. So that whole live drum and bass liquid thing, and we weren't even only doing liquid tunes. We did some tunes that weren't, but like more like hard kind of style tunes as well.
Yeah.
And that's another avenue that I'd really like to explore. So I did a thing with the ACM tutors, and it was MC Biggie. He's a big MC in Birmingham from back in the day, man. He's one of their veterans, isn't it? He also teaches at the uni. He teaches on production, and we had him and me doing the rap vocals. We had a singer, Lucy Brown. She was doing the hooks and backup vocals and stuff. And we had guy on the cello, Mad EP from America. He's teaching production there. Guy called Stas on the bass. Tobias on the drums. He's the drum tutor there. And we did a whole drum and bass live set with mine and Biggie's tunes. That was wicked. So I'd really like to explore that. Do you know what I mean? So it's just, when you with a whole band though, then the costing all goes up because everyone's got to get paid, and promoters are like, oh, so it's just whether it can work or not. It's just, you've got to kind of like shop it different ways and stuff like that.
Is it something that you could do like as a tour?
Yeah, definitely. If we all like got together, and then I think it could work, man. It could work. Because seeing the reception from both Boomtown and Hootenanny was really good. And this other one I'd done at Birmingham in Actress and Bishop Club. I think it could definitely work. I mean, years ago I went to Scotland and done a thing with a live band up there with MC Sensi in it, and we went up to Scotland in Edinburgh and we done a performance, and that was like one of the best drum and bass sets I ever done in my life, man, because the drummer was just mad. Wow. I don't know. We were going for a full hour. This guy was doing double time drumming for like a full hour. We go to like breakdowns and this and that, like hip hop parts, and it was just like constant. It was just crazy. And
I don't know how they do it.
Yeah, just being able to do that would be wicked. So that's one thing I'm looking into, definitely.
Would you say that experience has been one of your most memorable experiences in MC? Yeah,
doing the live band thing, definitely. And then the other experiences would probably be like in doing the hip hop thing, got to do some massive events, tour the world, like seeing big crowds and they're shouting your lyrics. They know your tunes. That's mad, because you feel like, wow, how did this person on the other side of the world, how have they found out about the tune and everything? And you know, that's crazy. When you hear, like, I did Amsterdam Arena in Holland, innit? And when you're getting the crowd to shout things, and it's just 15,000 people shouting, that's crazy, man. That's so them pop artists who blown up, they feel that all the time, innit? It's a crazy feeling. And then you know, like for like drum and bass special memories would be like when you're getting to perform with a big DJ that you've always looked up to, or you're going back to back with one of your MC heroes, them kind of things. So it doesn't matter if the club's like a big club or a small club, just the fact you're getting to do that is cool, isn't it? You might get the only problem is because you looked up to them, you idolize them like your heroes, you get all nervous. So when you're back to back, then you start forgetting your own lyrics. You're like, oh, so then that's the only thing in it. But just getting to do that and working with these people that you looked up to as a teenager in school, and now you're getting to actually work with them. That's one of the special things that I would always remember. And just having like them saying they think you're good or something like that, that's like, you're like, wow. So you know, that's nice. Definitely like them kind of things there.
What would you say? I think hearing you talk about that your creative process, and even being when you're driving, making sure that when you pull over that you're writing down the lyrics that come up for you. I think that's such a it sounds so simple, but I think people often think, oh, I do it all the time. Like, I had this brilliant idea and I think, oh, I'll write that down later, and then later comes, you're like, I don't remember it at all.
Yeah.
Is there any other advice that you could give to other upcoming MCs and artists trying to come up in the scene right now?
I mean, yeah, like in that, for that example there, what I do is I just say the thing over and over and over again until I do pull over. So I just keep saying it in my head until I get a chance to pull over and then write it down, or I just and then what will happen as well when I'm saying it over and over, then the next bar will come in and then it will become a 4 bar, and I'm memorizing that and I'm just doing it over and over till I get, and it might even turn into an 8 bar by the time I've got to the place, and then I write it down. But
Yeah.
definitely all of them, those things, make sure you get your ideas written down, or voice note is wicked, because like you can just hit that button and just voice note it, and then you've got that there. So if you you yourself, if you're coming up with an idea for something, just voice note it straight
Yeah.
away, because then
Yeah.
you got it right there. And then voice notes have helped me like I've forgotten what it was, but then I played the voice note and it was there's the hook. I'm like, oh yeah, that's how it's meant to go. Do you know what I mean? And the other thing I do as well, when I'd say this might help up and comers, when you're writing bars and you might come back to it and you can't remember what the flow is. So I write the bars as if as the flow's gonna sound. So if I've got like 3 words together in a triplet, I put them all together as one word, but I will capital letter the beginning of each letter, so I know that's the next word, isn't it? So then that shows me that's going to be a triplet. Then like if I've got to take a big breath, I might do 2 commas there, or any words that I'm spitting in a flow that's going to be, they're right next to each other. I will get rid of the spaces and just capital letter each word, so I know that that's a run there. That's got to be all together. So then that helps me remember what the flow sounds like. Because I remember I used to write, and then I wouldn't remember what the flow was afterwards, and it just I'll be trying to piece together the flow in it. So that's one way I've done it. That's helped on the phones with the notes thing.
Yeah.
Your notes app on the phone, and then I would say, as an up and comer, now it's different, because when I came back to drum and bass, then I thought, right, I'm gonna give out a load of CDs. So I've been doing the CD thing, selling them on the street. So I thought, okay, I'll go in these raves and I'll just hand out CDs. So I was just burning CDs and just handing them out. And that's when a lot of, because I was doing it and I had like a nice cover printed and everything, like I'd go get them actually done properly in it. It wouldn't be a home printer thing. It would be done like on a piece of card. I go to TG Print in Woolwich and get them to print the flyer, but it's square flyer, so it's like a CD wallet. It would fit in a CD wallet, and do that, and then it just all looks better, and people take you more seriously. Promoters take you more seriously. It's just handing them out, and people start listening to them in their cars and all this kind of stuff. Now it's a bit different because a lot of cars ain't got CD players now. The old ones still have, but the new ones ain't getting CD players put in them. And then so now I'd be like, well, okay, maybe I'll do a USB stick, and then get a USB stick manufactured with my logo on the thing. You can get that done, and then hand them out.
Yeah.
Or I'll do like a business card, but scan a QR code on it to a SoundCloud mix or to Spotify or whatever. So you give the business card to people, and all they got to do is scan it on their phone. But like, you got to think who you're giving it to. Have they got a bag on them? If they ain't got a bag on them, then that CD or USB stick or whatever is going on the floor in the rave, or the card or whatever is going on the floor. So if they got to have a bag that they can put it in, so you give it to them and say, right, that's what I'm talking. Anyone who's got a bag, so then they can put it in. Like whether it's a man with a man bag or a lady with whatever, that's who I'm targeting. And then the other thing would just be in, if you want to get booked by people, emailing them all the SoundCloud links and all that kind of stuff. It's gonna go straight in their trash. They ain't gonna read it. It's be spam, because they're getting emailed by 50,000 people all the time, innit? So you got to really be in there, in the club, meet them face to face. They have to get to know you, innit? because drum and bass is still very, very clicky. It's a very clicky scene. I haven't been in a scene so clicky as drum and bass. Yeah.
Mm.
And like they don't give you the time of day until they know you. Like there's DJs that it took me 20 years to get a hello out of them. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying, man. It's the clickiest scene ever. So you got to be in there all the time, make your face known, and so they think, oh yeah, he's part of the circle in it, and then that's when you start interacting and whatnot. There are people that ain't like that, but there's a lot who are. So that's what I would say. You just got to be in their face, and really networking to get to know people. And other piece of advice, I'd say, there's a lot of users in this in music game and in the drum and bass scene as well. So if you're getting people hollering at you in your inbox asking you to share their thing, and you're doing it, and then they'll never share your stuff back if you're an artist. So what you want to do when they holler at you asking you to share their thing, say, yeah, cool, I'll share it if you share this for me first. And then they have to do that, and then you share it, because otherwise you're just helping people and they'll never help you back. They'll never help you back. And then if they blow up higher than you, they'll lock you off, and they'll never answer any of your messages again. They won't talk to you anymore. They're too good for you now. So that's one thing. Always make sure you get something in return for helping someone else, because they'll use you. So you're a stepping stone for them, innit? So you have to make sure you do that. Other thing is this, you might have a lot of people that are cool with you and they're nice to you when you're first coming in the scene. You're not getting any bookings or anything like that. When you start getting more bookings than them, they're going to get jealous and they're going to hate you, and they're going to start spreading rumors about you. They're going to try to turn ravers who are cool with you, they're going to try to turn them against you. It's going to be a madness. Yeah. So you've got to prepare for that. That's going to happen. And then there's going to be there's just going to be loads of fuckery you're going to have to deal with, and it will piss you off, and you might want to quit. But then you've got to remember why you got into this in the first place, is because you enjoyed doing the music. So then that's the thing you got to concentrate on, because all the politics and all the bullshit, that will drive you mad if you let it. If you let it, and you'll just start hating everyone. You suspect people are doing this, that, and the third against you and stuff. Everything's a conspiracy and blah blah blah. And there's a lot of artists who are being consumed by that stuff, and I'd have them phoning me up complaining about people all the time and this, that, and the rest of it. And half the time it wasn't actually going on. Sometimes it was. Sometimes just nothing was going on, but they just thought it was, and it was driving them mad. So there's all of that stuff to look out for as well. And yeah, for the MCs as well, just up and coming MC, just if you're on a set and a DJ's playing a vocal tune, just don't chat over it. And when that vocal's going on, if it's a singing vocal or rap, just don't chat over it, because then people, they don't like that. They just think you don't know what you're doing and stuff. It's difficult sometimes, because if you can't hear what's going on, a lot of the time the monitors are so bad, you might not be able to hear what's going on. You can just hear the beat and the bass maybe, but you can't really tell the other stuff. But if you notice there's a vocal going on, don't think that, oh, I better just carry on so it doesn't look like I'm messed up. Maybe just resolve it on the fourth bar and then just stop. And then you can even say something, oh yeah, shit, listen to the vocal. So do you know what I mean? So then it kind of helps like that. So, that's what I would say. And get on radio, man. Just do loads of radio shows. Just good practice hours. Even if if you're looking at the live stream and there's hardly anyone on there, just use it as practice hours, man. Exactly. That's what you got to think, innit? Just get used to hearing all of these new tunes, these dubs that are coming out, and how you're going to do your thing on them. And then you can like take little clips of it and put that on your TikTok or social media and whatever, just the little clips that you think were good, the 30-second clips, and use that for promo, because often they do better than doing proper videos. Like, that's the mad thing, isn't it? Like, there's things I've done on TikTok where it's just, or Instagram or Facebook or whatever, just me spitting in a live thing, and that does way better than an actual fully produced music video that's had all the editing time put into it and everything. So it's just finding out what works and then using that to your full advantage.
Absolutely.
So that's the advice I would be giving.
That was brilliant. I really appreciate your honesty as well about the sort of the what actually can go on behind the scenes between artists as well, because I think that's really important for people to know that, because I would hate for people to sort of come into the scene thinking it's all like roses and then to experience this and be like, no one told me about this stuff. And so it's just nice to hear such a real account of what can happen.
Yeah, and you got to remember where the rave scene, where it comes from, it's very cutthroat, isn't it? It's a cutthroat industry, and you still got people who are in the industry that were in it from 1990s, and they're used to doing things that way. So that's what it's going to be. And then you've got young up and comers who are coming in there. They can be just as ruthless as well to get what they want. And it's like, it's not like, I know there's the whole peace, love and unity and respect thing and blah, blah. That's a myth. Yeah. That's dead. Like there are some people that like that, but not many. And, so, just don't expect it to be nice. It's horrible. It's going to be a horrible thing you're going into. And there's good people, and when you meet them, that's lovely, innit? But it's going to be a lot of like nasty stuff going on. And that can put you off. You got to be thick-skinned and just be like, okay, cool. Like other people try like stir beef with me and other artists. And luckily I had that artist's phone number, so I just called them up and just talked it out, not having a go at them or anything, just phoned up saying, I've heard this situation, is this true? Like, just being very calm with it. And they were like, nah, it's a complete lie. It's all bullshit. And I've known this, and then I've been able to find out it's a lie. And then that's just buried the whole thing. And then now I know not to mess with that person who's trying to turn me against people. Yeah. So, things like that goes on all the time. And for whatever reason, it's just sad because, like it's an underground music scene. It doesn't need to be all of this stuff going on. Everyone could eat. And because people want to be in control too much, it stops people eating, innit? And like if you look at like what happened to like General Levy back in the day, he got blocked out of the scene. Yeah. And then like obviously in Germany and all them places, he was still doing his thing out there and everything. And then, then now he's all over the place back in England again. And them same people that probably blocked him out before are now begging it from him. So it's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. Like, there's no other way I can say it. I can't say it's nice. And I'm not going to say, oh yeah, I love it. Is these people all like, loving all these people off. It's disgusting what they're doing. And, hopefully they'll get their karma, but who knows, isn't it? But that's
who knows?
General Levy now, he's smashing it. So it's
that's
cool
the thing.
for him, innit? But he, if you watch that documentary about him,
he went through it.
Dole and everything, innit? Yeah. His tunes popping off and he's had to sign on the dole and everything. It's madness. So
and even in that documentary, they were still. I can't remember who it was. He said what? I remember what it was that they saying that he basically said that he's created jungle. That was a thought process that certain people were saying. I can't remember who said it, but on that documentary, there was still that difference of opinions going on. I was thinking, oh my gosh, I can't believe this. The beef is still going on like 30 years on.
Yeah. That's the thing in drum and bass. If someone doesn't like you, 20 years later, they're still not going to like you, innit? And they're going to do all in their power to block you in every single way they can. Yeah. And, that's the mad thing about it, because you're seeing these people, because it's a small scene that's all like all these scenes are like small scenes of one big thing. You're going to see the same people every weekend. So if you've got a problem with them, that's that problem. Unless you resolve it by phoning them up or whatever and talking it through, that problem is going to go on for years, and they're going to tell everyone they know that they don't like you, blah, 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 and this is the reason why. And then that can then turn those people against you because they assume that's true, and and it's just this long. So there's a lot of situations like that which could be easily like avoided, but and then also because a lot of people are thinking there's a limited amount of money to be made out of this thing, so they try and block anyone else getting the opportunity to get that spotlight on them, because they're afraid it's going to take away their bookings. But
Mm.
I personally think like the vocal jungle thing back then, if that hadn't been hampered and stopped, and there's all these different reasons as to why, there was trouble in the clubs and this and that, or whatever, or we didn't want the MC to become the the get all the limelight, or we didn't want it to become like a cheap form of ragga or blah blah blah, whatever. If they'd have let that just do its thing, who knows where it could be now? It could be massive all over the
Yeah.
world and all that. So and the opportunities for everyone to eat would have been there, innit? So like if you look at all these crews who went to garage, Heartless crew, they used to do drum and bass and jungle. They said it was lock off. They went to garage and things popped off for them. Wiley, same. He left, went to garage, Pay As You Go Cartel, popped off on in the charts, everything, and then he created grime and all that. So what I'm saying. So Dizzy Rascal was a drum and bass DJ. DJ Target was a drum and bass DJ. All these guys who
Mm.
then went on to flourish in other scenes were actually drum and bass DJs. Now their talent could have been used in drum and bass to make it even bigger, but no, now they had to go other places to flourish. So that tells you all you need to know right there. So it's a shame, but now it's getting to like a point where it could have got 2 years ago. Maybe, who knows? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's just mad, isn't it? So now
People are.
you got Becky Hill doing that advert for I see it on YouTube all the time. I got for some bank or something. It's a drum and
Oh,
bass
right.
tune. Yeah. And
Oh, the disconnect song. I don't have YouTube. I have my ads. I pay to not see ads on YouTube because I can't handle it. So I haven't seen this ad.
yeah. I don't even know what it is, but I just saw. I was like, oh, okay. And then like Boo and Headache smashing it up all over the place. That Badder Than tune, like number 5 in the UK charts. Now all of this could have been going on years ago. Then it was. That's what I'm saying. Like Original Nutter, Shy Effects and UK Apache, that got high in the charts.
Yeah.
Then he got blocked by a load of people as well. Then flipping General Levy tune in it, that got really high in the charts. And do you know what I'm saying? So it could have, it was there. It was there in 1994, and now in 2023 we've got another ragga drum and bass tune that's top of the charts. What's going to happen now? So it could have all been popping off from years ago, man. So it's a bit mad.
Gosh, that's interesting. The other thing that's interesting that you said there, I think was really helpful in that advice, is the not getting too caught up in trying to, for your social media, not trying to put that perfect production stuff out there. And I've definitely been, not on live streams, I'm not an artist, but I've been on the other side of a live stream, like there with the artist, and seeing that there's only like 2, 3 people, 12 people, 10 people join in and things like that. And these are on big platforms as well. But then seeing that same recording of Facebook Live, for example, seeing that same recording get later on down the line, then like the hundreds of views come in. So not getting dismayed by people who's not showing up to the live, but that's there. You've done the content that will continue to get more views and more eyes on it. It's good to put it out there.
Yeah, because live streaming, like it was popping off for a while. We're getting really good numbers. Like the top amount of numbers I had on my show when I was doing it regularly on Origin, I had like over 600 one time.
Wow.
Or tuned into the live stream, and like other people have had mad numbers in it, like thousands and stuff like that. But then Facebook started clamping down on it.
Yeah, it mutes the sound a lot.
Yeah, the numbers are terrible now, isn't it? So it's just like, use the live stream, in my opinion, use it for practice hours and for clipping content for your social medias to promote yourself. Like you just take a little 30-second clip or 1-minute clip of the best bit that you can find and whack that up on the social medias, isn't it? So I would say just use it for that. And like like I used to like Origin because it was on FM as well, so it'd be people hearing it in their cars and that driving around. And then that's why I went and done THC radio as well, because that was on FM. What was it on? That was on digital as well, so digital radio was going out there too. They had the license and whatnot. So that's why I thought, okay, because you're getting the live stream, but then you're also getting the old school of being in people's cars when they're driving around and all that kind of stuff, or coming through their FM radio and whatnot.
Yeah.
Because I remember doing from pirate days back in the day, and I always liked that. And when it was just the live stream thing, I wanted that FM dial and the other stuff as well in it. So I went and done it in those stations where I could.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll go do rough tempo. Sometimes I'll do code red, origin, all these stations, yeah, because like it's all wicked, it's all wicked platforms and that. So I still do them, but I say just use it. Like if the streams numbers ain't big, don't get disheartened, just clip it.
Yeah, love it. So what are your own future aspirations as an MC? Like what have we got to look forward to when it comes to you, and what are you looking forward to doing more of? Maybe even less of, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, just making more tunes. Just keep cranking out tunes, man. That's where my head's at right now. And just seeing how they get received or whatever, and just enjoying being in the studio, making the tunes, and then doing the raves. Still, I've got like, this month's been pretty busy, bookings every weekend and that. So just taking it as it comes, really. Because like the whole cost of living crisis and all of this stuff, it has affected the raves and what can be put on and what can't. So it's just rolling with it, really, and just seeing where that can take me. And yeah, that's about it, really. Just keep cranking out tunes. That's what I want to do. So yeah, and then what other opportunities come along with that, I'll do that. And I'll just keep. I'm happy like doing the stuff at the uni, passing on what I've learned to younger people and trying to help them. And then seeing them perform, like, and taking the advice you've given them about how to hold the mic properly, breath control, all that kind of thing, and how to protect their voice and phrasing and everything like that. That's a good feeling, man. Seeing that you've helped them perform better and stuff like that. That's wicked. So just keep doing that, and yeah, that'll be it, really. Just and then putting videos out and things like that too. So
nice.
Yeah.
And are there any, and you mentioned a few of your releases that you've got coming up. Were there any that you didn't mention that you want to mention here? Or have you got any dates for us?
Nah, you know what? I mentioned them all.
That's all of them.
I've got another tune with Elisa, actually, and a remix by Scuff, one by Stills as well. And I've done a hip hop mix to it. And that's going to be coming soon. But I'm just waiting for one of the remixes to get finished. She's a wicked producer. Wow. And they're all sick producers in it, so that's cool. Got another tune I'm working on with Spooker. That'll be coming out with Any Man. Any Man's done the beat for that one. That's like a jump up banger kind of tune. Oh yeah, I got another tune with Spooker called No Interruptions as well. That was like an ode to the rave scene. Like we're both just talking about what we love about the rave scene on there. That's on YouTube and it's on Spotify as well. So check that one out too.
Brilliant.
And yeah, that's the things I've got out at the moment.
Wow, lots, by the way, because that was part 2, because you said a whole load in the middle of the interview as well. So you've got loads going on.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
It's gone a bit mad, isn't it, with the amount.
No, it's brilliant. Stuff, absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay, so with that, can I take you through a quick round of this or that?
Yeah, sure.
So you just need to tell me which you prefer, this or that. The first one I want to ask you is favourite drum and bass jungle decade. Would it be the 90s or the 2000s?
90s.
Do you prefer daytime raves or all-nighters?
Now I'd have to say daytime, because I like going to sleep. Like all this stuff where we're not going to sleep, is bad for your health. It gives you cancer. Do you know what I mean? They found like not sleeping is carcinogenic. That's what they found now. So the more you don't sleep, the more risk you got of getting cancer. I don't want cancer. My dad had cancer in 2017, and it was not nice. Yeah, he had to go through chemo, all that. Thankfully, he survived, innit? But screw that, man. So I'd rather just all raves just daytime events, because I don't see the point. Like, what is the point of being up till 6 in the flipping morning? There's no point. I don't get it. And then you come home, you feel terrible. The birds are all singing. You can't get to sleep. Or
it's light.
You know what I mean? It's just, it's horrible, man. You got
it's very confusing. It takes me ages to get my rhythm back, and absolutely, we know that we need to sleep, and preferably we need to sleep at night. So
that's what we're evolved for. Think about human beings. We've been living out on the savannah, in Africa and other continents when we spread to there for 14 million years, and then the agricultural evolution took place and whatnot, and we started living in societies, and then that's still going to bed when the sun's gone down. Only like when you had like the gaslight era and all that, and then coming into the 20th century. So that's less than 200 years of staying up all night. We're not evolved for that. It's madness. It's actually madness. We're doing ourselves a lot of damage, because if I even think about when I do these raves, the weekends, I'm getting home at 6, 7 in the morning. Sunday's just a write-off. I'm in a state, and then like Monday, still not that good, and then it takes me a while, and then, do you know what I mean? And then so you think about people who are adding drugs to that to then stay up on the Sunday to go to an after party in someone's kitchen, and then they're going to work on a Monday. They're not getting a break. They're not.
Then they do it.
It's not good. It's not good for them at all, man. So and then if you look at all these people like on Facebook all the time, I find out this person died, this person's dead, this person's dead, but these are all young people dying, and they're putting their bodies through a lot. And so I don't know, but there's got to be some kind of connection there. Your body needs rest. So promoters out there, keep doing the daytime events.
More daytime raves.
It's more daytimers, man. Like Saturdays, start at 12, finish at 12 p.m. Cool. Fridays, you can still, obviously people are working, start at 6, finish at 2. Like, I don't mind the raves that finish.
I'm seeing a lot of 6 till 2s these days, actually.
Yeah, man. I don't mind them ones. Like the first rave I ever went to, they finish at 2, innit? And then we go home, you still get an all right night's sleep, wake up. You could get in 8 hours, wake up at 11 instead of early or whatever. Say if you got back home at 3 o'clock. But if it's like these flipping mad all-nighters, and then you're, nah, man, that's just not healthy. It's not healthy at all.
No, got to find that balance, that's for sure. Whatever you decide to do, make sure that you're finding that balance, for sure. Do you prefer digital or analog sounds?
Boy, that's a difficult one, because they're like vinyl has got that whole warm sound and everything, but sometimes with the digital things, like I remember I had heard one thing on vinyl, and then I heard it on a CD, and there were instruments that I'd never clocked on the vinyl, and then I heard them on the CD because it's got that clearer sound. So for me, I don't know. I don't know, man. I'm not sure. I can't answer that one.
So that's a hard one.
Yeah, they both got their advantages, innit? So it's hard, man.
Difficult one. Would you prefer, I'm interested what you think on this one actually, would you prefer a song with terrible vocals and good lyrics, or a song that has really good vocals but terrible lyrics?
Really good vocals but terrible lyrics.
Terrible. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, because it's all about, for me, it's all about the delivery, innit? So if you're, do you know what I mean? Like if you're singing it really well or rapping it really well, and the lyrics ain't all that, it's still, there's some kind of non-verbal expression that is getting me. Whereas like if the lyrics are really good but the flow is just dead, or the melody's rubbish, or the beat, if the beat's terrible, I can't listen to it. Like other people I know, they could listen to an album of terrible beats, but there's a rapper's amazing rapper. I couldn't listen to that. I can't listen to that. I have to just, the beat's got to be there for me. And it's the same with, because I remember when people would be like, oh yeah, East Coast New York rappers are way better than lyrically than West Coast rappers. I remember that whole argument. But for me, the West Coast rappers, they weren't coming with as many like well, the ones that popped off in the, in the mainstream and that. I'm not talking about like all Freestyle Fellowship and the Far
No.
Side and like all these people and that, but the ones that everyone kind of debate ones that everyone knew, yeah, they weren't coming with all the mad like punchlines and this and that and all the rest of it, but the way they were saying the rhymes was very poetic and it was very expressive. Like they were phrasing on the emphasis was getting put on certain words, like how it would be in church. Like a lot, you look at a lot of those rappers, a lot of them grew up in church, and they were going to church. They hear the pastor talking the way he's talking. They're singing the tunes in the church, and the phrasing is very important. It's going on the certain points. So I can hear like with a rapper who's grown up in the church, and I can hear a rapper who hasn't. Like when I'm got students, and those ones that haven't, or they haven't got any background in like dramatic speaking or anything like that, they got some catching up to do in terms of their expressiveness. Yeah. So for me, it's more about expression rather than amazing lyrical content. Like, I would always appreciate that when I hear it, but if the flow's dead and if the way they're saying it is not passionate in the right places, that'll turn me off.
Wow. No, that's it. When now you've sold it like that, I get it. I get it now. Would you rather to be able to play every single instrument in the world, or to be able to master all sports?
Every single instrument in the world definitely would be my one.
Yeah.
Because like if I could just like I can play piano and I can do that, and that's helped me produce my hip hop tunes and stuff, because I can do the bass lines, I can do the stuff on the keyboard and whatnot. But if I could like play other instruments as well, that'd be cool. Like knowing the trumpet or the saxophone or being able to play guitar, or I've always liked the bass guitar as well. I could play that, so I'd like to be able to know all those things. But piano is really good because you're dealing with all chords and stuff, and do you know what I mean? That really helped for me anyway. So yeah, if I could play every musical instrument, that'd be wicked. Yeah, I'll be on that.
Okay, for that one.
Yeah,
brilliant.
Yeah.
This one's a bit random. Would you rather to have to always wear really, really, really heavy boots, or never get to wear shoes ever again? You'd have to be shoeless.
That's a difficult one. Yeah, I'm like in England, boy. I'd go for the boots. But if we're in a like warm country, then I'll do the non-shoes one maybe. Yeah. In this country, it would have to be wearing the shoes, man. Because it's cold. So.
Would you? Okay, last one. Would you rather? Would you rather to have an all expenses trip, all expenses paid? I also mess this one up for some reason. Would you rather have an all expenses paid trip around the world, or be given £100,000 in cash?
Boy, I think I would. The way I'm feeling right now, I would take the all expenses paid trip around the world just so I could see loads of different stuff.
Yeah.
And experience loads of different things. I don't know how much an all around the world trip would cost.
Probably take ages as well.
Yeah, I mean, if it was going to cost $100,000, I would take the all around the world trip. But if the all around the world trip was going to cost $20,000, then I'd take the $100,000, pay the $20,000 for the all around the world trip, and just keep the $80,000. Then
and have the cash back. Yeah.
Then I would do that. So it depends. I'd have to fit. I have to be like, okay, I'll get back to you on that. Go check out the costing, and then I'll come back to you
with the answer. That is absolutely.
One little other thing about for up and coming MCs and DJs.
Oh yeah, please.
Right? Enter every competition you can.
Yes.
Any event you see that's doing a competition, enter it. Yeah, like. Then you get on these bigger platforms. Like I entered the innovation MC competition. I entered the breaking science competition for getting in their room free or whatever. And then that's just you getting in the club for
Yeah.
free and doing a set and then using it to network. And then also I did the next type competitions. And also when you do the competition, if you win a competition, don't go there and just play your set. Have something you can give out to people, like the USB stick with your mix on it, or a CD with your mix on it, or a card with a QR code. That just have something you can give out, because you don't want to just use that opportunity and it just goes half an hour, it's gone, and then that's it. You want to add something to it
Yeah.
to then get you in again. So
That's such a good piece of advice. And I think also just get into the habit of entering competitions, right? Because I think sometimes people hold themselves back. They think, oh, they've had so many entries, I'm not going to enter. Like just going through that process of completing that cycle, recording your set, entering, whether you win or not, just getting into that habit of like, I'm going to actually enter some competitions, because eventually,
yeah,
by law of averages, something has to come through.
yeah, for real, definitely. So and just use the competitions to be able to be in these places for free with your
Yeah.
plus one or whatever. Get them to film your set, and do you know what I mean? That's more stuff for your social media, because social media you got to also just use that crazily to get out
Yeah.
there. So definitely, yeah, just take advantage of everything you can. So
How
even
do
if
you
there's like
juggle? Sorry, go on.
even if there's like a competition to do a set on a radio or whatever, do that as well. Like
Yeah.
DJ Brocky, he was doing competitions to come and play on his show on Cool and stuff like that. So just do them things like that, man, as well.
Yeah. How do you juggle your different social medias? You said you're getting into TikTok now. Like, how do you juggle all the different ones? Like, do you spend more time on one of them, or do you just sort of put the same content out across all of them?
Um,
Like, how do you?
like I put the same thing out on all of them, but it's a headache. Social media is a headache. I don't like it. It's just really annoying. Because there's just too many of them, too many apps, man.
Yeah.
So that's the annoying thing. And then like I remember MySpace, yeah, that was wicked. I don't know why everyone jumped off MySpace and then went on to stupid Facebook and this and that and all the rest of it. Because MySpace, you could have your video there. You had a little player for your tunes, 5 tunes you could have featured there. Then you could design it like it's your own website. You have your own
Yeah.
themes.
You had
Everything
your
was
intro
like
tune as well. When
personalized.
people come onto
Yeah,
your page, you had a song playing like "Welcome to my
exactly.
page." You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. So what? That was it. MySpace was the one. Yeah, everyone should have just stayed on there. But no, people want to be fashion followers and go on Facebook, and then they go on Twitter, then they go on this one and this one. This, do you know what I mean? So it's crazy, man. Now I think that obviously TikTok is the one.
Mm.
It's making people careers out here, like like that. I was looking up one guy, Ricky Desktop. I don't know if you know him.
No,
So
look
this
him
guy
up
in
there.
lockdown, yeah, he's in the early 20s in lockdown. He was in his mum and dad's garage. He had his laptop, small little speakers. So he thought he's going to make tunes for TikTok dancers, and he specially done it for TikTok dancers. So everything he thought about, how many kicks to put in, so they can do a free move dance to this kick or whatever. Then he had like the childlike sample, so the kids get onto it, and the tempo of the
Mm.
thing, this, that, and everything. Like he just thought of it, and these tunes popped off, went viral. We got 20 million plays, and this, that, all the rest of it. And now he's producing for like big artists in America and everything, and that's all of TikTok. And
Yeah.
so if you can use something um, and your tactics of promoting on there are on point, then and you got a good quality product as well, because his beats, when you listen to them, they're mixed down very well. Like he said, because he was coming through phone speakers, he made
Mm.
sure the 808 bass subs and stuff he was doing, he really upped the treble on them, so they come through the phone speakers loud still. Whereas like other tunes, they won't, because they're not mastered for that, not mixed down for phone speakers in mind, innit? So he thought of all of these things, and that helped him pop off. So if you can think like he did, and then do that, then that can really help you, and
Absolutely.
utilize that thing, and just see what pops off for you. It's really weird what will pop off on TikTok and what won't.
Yeah.
So,
Just got to
and it's
keep
all about the
going with it.
times of day when you post as well. Like think about all the times of day when you're going to post and whatnot. So
Yeah.
it's just mad. So
Check your analytics and knowing the best time is to post. Absolutely. But I think TikTok, I love TikTok personally because I think it is probably one of the easier apps to go viral on. Not that I think going viral should be anyone's aim, by the way, because going viral doesn't necessarily mean success. It means that your videos are out there in front of lots of people who probably will never follow you. That's the other part of being going viral. But it does feel good. But I do feel like TikTok is that app that is quite easy. Like you just keep putting stuff out, consistency. At some point, something just randomly just goes, and you're like, oh, that was the one, really?
I think they got to, you got to have a science to it as well, is what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
Because like the ones, I think like my best ones on there that's got thousands of views and whatnot was like me just getting the crowd to shout "fuck Boris Johnson" and stuff like that. So that was like one of the top ones I had. And it's just weird, isn't it? And then like some of them put a music video thing up, won't get hardly anything. Me just sitting there, just talking to the camera about my music video, then gets thousands of views. So it's really weird. So I'm still trying to like figure it out, like what is going to work best for me on there. But you know, I would say to people, just figure out what works for you and then roll with it. And that if you do go viral as well, then you got to be really careful because like this guy that I used to see him in Camden sometimes selling CDs and whatnot. Rinse Him Alone, innit? He had this tune, One Eye.
Oh yeah. And then it blew up properly, didn't it?
Yeah, the girl just come to him and said, "Oh, do it for my TikTok, innit?" And at the time he was homeless, innit? And he'd done it for her, and it blew up, went 10 million on TikTok. Then the tune got signed by Sony, got put out through them and everything, like subsidiary of Sony and whatnot. But the deal maybe wasn't right and everything, and then certain things happened, and now he's got to try and get things back. Like his TikTok got deleted. He lost his Instagram. He's got them back now, but it's like he's got to build again. Do you know what I mean? So you got to also be very savvy with it when you do. If something does pop off, then if a label show interest, you got to have a music lawyer, go in there with them and make sure the music lawyer is not the label's music lawyer that they're recommending to you. Because if they'll be working for the label and they'll tell you, oh yeah, the deal's fine, isn't it? And then you're getting screwed. That's what happened with Migos. You know the rappers Migos from America?
Yeah.
So they fired their lawyer, innit? And I think they took him to court because it come out that he was actually in league with the label and got them on a bad contract. Yeah. I only remember like the contract I was offered by the label after I'd done the album already. Yeah. So you've done it already. You want it to go out. And this is how they get artists because they know you want it to go out.
Yeah, you've done the work. Yeah.
So then they give you a crap contract hoping you'll sign it. But luckily, we took it to a music lawyer called Simon Long. And this guy was in, what was it? London Bridge, and we went there. And he just took the contract apart. And at the time I was like, bro, I don't know if I can afford paying you what you charge per hour. But he goes, look, trust me, it's cool. I'll handle it in 2 hours. Yeah. So 2 hours worth of time. And he did. So like me paying him like what I paid him, I saved about 15 grand that I got in royalties and all of that stuff afterwards. Otherwise I'd have only got half of that. Otherwise, do you know what I mean? So having a music lawyer that's on your side is really important. So if anything does, like there's a lot of drum and bass artists now that are getting approached by labels and this and that, like major labels and people that weren't really looking at drum and bass before, because now they're thinking, oh, we can make money out of it. So if you are going to go into anything with those labels, you've got to have a music lawyer that's got your back.
Yeah.
If you go into a thing without one, you're just inviting getting screwed over. So that would be advice as well. Even if you're doing stuff with these drum and bass labels, if you haven't got a good contract with them, you can forget you're going to earn anything out of your tune. Just forget it, because the contract will just be in such a way, and then you won't be getting no share of the tunes or nothing. Like now, there's no excuse for it, because when you put a tune up through DistroKid, for example, or any of these other distributors that labels are using, you can put the share splits, and it automatically gets sent to the artist in their bank account. You can do that now, So there's no excuse for anyone to be ripped off anymore, because splits
Yeah.
can be split. So like when you get a contract sent from a label, if you haven't stipulated what your split of that tune is, forget it. That contract's just rubbish, man. You need to have that in writing so that you can always refer back to that later and make sure you're getting your money, because otherwise you're just going to get nothing. So, you know, that's the other advice I'd give to like young producers and young MCs that are doing tunes. These labels, that you got to make sure you got that contract proper, because otherwise you're going to get screwed, because they will screw you. They like some of these labels, they've been making money out of screwing over young artists for decades now, innit? And they're not going to change for you. So you got to make sure you got a good contract there, and everything's got to be in writing.
Yeah.
Everything. So
yeah, you got to be savvy. You got to be savvy these days.
For real.
Oh, wow. So many nuggets of gold in this conversation. I know people are going to get a lot out of it. It's been a pleasure talking to you today. Yeah, so much. And so, yeah, it's been a great pleasure. And so I'm looking forward to get this episode out.
Yeah, man, wicked. Thank you very much for having me. I enjoyed it as well. So,
oh, my pleasure. Thank you.
Cool. But yeah, just want to send a shout out to all the drum and bass artists, DJs, MCs, producers, and most of importantly, the ravers, yeah, because without you, we wouldn't be doing any of this. So thank you very much to all of you lot.